The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, thanks. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico de Haan and Paige Clark.
Well, good morning. I'm Paige Clark. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced and natural wild world.
To regain our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. I'm Nico de Haan.
And it's a beautiful day in downtown Clearwater. I don't know what the temperature is. I forgot to ask you.
67 degrees.
67 degrees. Beautiful day. Hope you're enjoying nice weather. Take a moment and pick up our Health Signals newsletter. News you can use in your inbox. Great articles with clickable links so that you can stay up to date on the latest vetted by Nico and I, stuff we think you ought to know. Yep. You can pick up some of our Primal Edge.
Yep, over 310 organic cell-ready ingredients, and it's all powered by fulvic and humic acid to let the good stuff in.
And the bad stuff out. And if you're up and at it, we're taking your calls.
Yes, 877-927-6648. It's a beautiful morning. What are we talking about?
Well, you know what, Nico? We're feeling the change in the season, 60-something degrees.
Yep, it's nice. I like it.
I started looking at it. This came through my news feed about how Icelanders have the highest life expectancy in the world. And I have some friends, and they're dealing with Iceland. I've been even thinking about going there. Mm-hmm. You know, my friend that imports the cod liver oil, Dropey cod liver oil, Ash Nickmia, he goes to Iceland all the time. So I've been really interested in the Icelandic people. I was impressed with the Icelandic people, the way they booted out the bankers, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like that sovereign soul stuff. So
makes sense to me.
Yeah, so did you know that Icelanders have the highest life expectancy in the entire world? They also have 80% fewer incidents of heart disease, the big killer worldwide, and especially in the United States, as compared to the United States in the last 35 years. I think this warrants taking a look at.
Yeah, and one of the things they cite in this article is that when it comes to socializing, they really got it down because England has its pubs, and Italians have the piazza, and Iceland has its pools.
And show them that picture. It made me just want to go there. So on a snowy February afternoon, the outdoor West End pool in the capital city of Reykjavik was busy. Steam rose off the hot tubs, heated by Iceland's vast geothermal network.
Yeah.
And you know, when I look at this, Nico, you know, you and I have both been really diving into a lot of the circadian rhythm and the cold thermogenesis work of Dr. Jack Kruse.
Yeah.
Right? So we know that these are important signals that are embedded in our DNA that help our bodies adapt. And when we adapt, we not only survive, but we thrive.
Yeah, it's really taking your body to the extreme seems to give you a boost to your immune system, and it's something that I feel when I go into the cold water. Even though the cold is not as cold as it is in Iceland, I think a lot of things have to do with the type of temperature variance between the high and the low. So even though I don't get to plunge in 30-degree water, if I plunge into 60 or 70-degree water, being at 90 degrees,
the signaling is still happening.
The signaling is still going on, and I do feel that in the showers. And what really helps me is those articles that we read about the Iceman.
Wim Hof.
Wim Hof, and him telling me that he embraced the cold and just use your breathing, your natural ability for your body to adapt, and then all of a sudden your body calms down, and it really does work.
It's great. So, so here you go, guys. You know, looking back at that gorgeous picture of those geothermal pools, you know, imagine laughter and chatting. It's a social thing. People are talking. Do you notice that they're out in the sun? So what is the importance there is they're getting that solar radiation in an area where oftentimes the country has has minimal daylight, and then they have long gray winters, these pools might be the key to Iceland's happiness.
I think so too. Another thing I think of when I look at a picture like that, of course they're in the sun and it's nice warm out in the water. It's cool there because it's usually cool there. But what also is happening, water is a great conduit for electricity. So talk about grounding yourself. In water, you're really grounding your whole body.
I mean, exactly.
Yeah.
And nothing better than being in water, outdoors, with your feet on the ground. So when people are outdoors, you'll find them in the pools and the hot tubs. And they dot the country of Iceland with their 332,000 people.
Well, it says here, too, that a lot of these people, just about everybody has a hot tub. This is kind of the standard in Iceland, that everybody has a hot tub. But even more important, they say that they want something, a public pool that they can go to, that they can walk to from their house.
It says at this point it is considered more or less a civil right to have one of these pools within walking distance of your home.
Yeah.
He said it's become a focal point of public lifestyle, really.
Yeah.
And this was stated by the University of Iceland's folklorist, Vladimir Hafstein.
And this really makes sense because I remember up in Canada and up in Michigan when I was living there, you kind of get shut in the wintertime. You know, you just have your friends or your family that come over, not too much socializing outside unless you go to a skating rink or something like that. So this is their way of, during those times, of course, in Iceland too, they have these dark periods of
That's
time.
what they say. Right. Well, because, yeah, that's exactly where it stays really dark.
It stays really dark. It stays really cold. You're huddled inside. So this is a way of reconnecting not only with the earth and all the elements, but with your neighbors. So
But
that's
despite
really cool.
this harsh climate, Iceland finds itself among the top 3 of the world's happiest countries. And that researcher, Dr. Hafstein, and his fellow researchers believe these pools, these geothermal earth energy pools, are a big reason why. So if you think of health and wellness not just as a matter of physical health and being free from disease, but also the mental and social aspects of it.
The social aspect. I really see that social aspect taking hold if you're in a
these
country like that.
geothermal pools is a place to come out instead of hunkering in under a cover and not seeing a neighbor.
Yeah.
You know, that reminds me, when I was a child, we moved from the South. You know, we're from Virginia, Carolinas. My parents took us. I was the oldest, 3 kids. And my dad was promoted to a job, and we had to move to Boston, Massachusetts. And we moved in the winter.
A shock,
It was a
right?
real big shock.
Yeah.
It unfortunately didn't go well. My mom became real depressed. I mean, clinically depressed. And we actually, he moved. We took a different job as a result of it, and we had to move. So I have a strong feeling of remembering how a cold, hunkered-in winter can be detrimental to your health if you don't have this balance. So.
Well, it's hard not to smile and be happy when you're in a pool pretty much naked with everybody else. You're not completely naked, but that's kind of the idea. You're there, you're showing your body off, you're doing the same thing as everybody else is there, and it feels really good because the heat feels good, and you're sticking your body above the water, and that's cold, and that feels good. So, yeah, I mean, happiness is built in.
There's a question in the chat room, how to avoid hypothermia. Well, this is the key. And Wim Hof is the researcher that you cited. You know, there's a lot you can do in terms of your breathing and your mental capacity to handle these extremes.
Those breathing techniques really do work, and I use them now in lots of different situations. When I'm at home getting ready for something, I'll start these things. When I know I'm going in the cold water, taking the cold shower, a lot of times I'll do the breathing while I'm in the shower, and it really takes your mind completely off of it, and kind of there's an acceptance there of the cold, and that helps you get through it.
So maybe if we hang out in the pools, we'll live longer. But when we come back, watch a clip we shared of other people that are using the cold to stay healthy.
Yeah,
Be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, it says here, if you think of health and wellness not just as a matter of physical health and being free from disease, but also the mental and social aspects, I think the geothermal heat and the communal pools have a lot to do with that, the author says here.
Well, you know, that's kind of getting back there, but I want to just kind of go over the video we just showed. That was a video of Russian school children at recess. Now, I dare say most of us never had our teachers in bathing suits and us down to our skivvies, but this goes to show, and I have friends that are from Russia, that this is completely normal. They believe that the winter is a very important time to expose our bodies to these cold temperatures. And to build the immune system. How diabolically opposite from what we see here, where we've got germphobe teachers putting masks on kids and hats and, you know, putting out the, you know, hormone disrupting, you know, germ stuff and covering them up before they, and oh, don't go outside because it's too cold.
Yeah. Well, it's the cold, but also the point I was making is that the social aspect, you see those kids in the snow just having fun with each other.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful thing.
Cold is a part of having fun.
Yeah. It really is, and I remember that. I remember my mother coming, you know, when I was coming in the house after skiing when I was like 10 years old, and she said, I don't know how you do it, it's 40 below. But as a kid, you don't feel that. You feel invigorated.
Because
it's
your
great.
metabolic engine is...
Plus, you can do it. It's an adventure. I was 42 degrees below zero, and I was out there skiing, man. It's something to brag about, too. So, I mean, there's the whole social aspect of that, I think, is so important that I don't want to downplay that part, because it's just as important as getting the cold and the heat and thinking about your health. We're social animals. We need that. So.
Well, our listener Z is telling us it's 19 degrees where he is, so it's a beautiful thing. So
there you go.
Send us a snapshot of you and your skivvies out there enjoying that.
Yeah, I'd like to see that, Z. I'd like to see that, for sure.
Oh, wonderful. So,
it was in the 1950s and 60s that Iceland switched from coal-powered heat to geothermal, harnessing the power of the island's volcanic, and the infrastructure created a switch by the people. So they started really embracing this geothermal thing, and this is why these pools really became an important part of their culture. Not only are they heating their bodies, but they're really using this for energy all over the island, too, which is a great way of doing it.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe you can take a picture. So the question is, what else makes these Icelanders so healthy? And there it is. It's a volcano. Obviously they have a lot of volcanoes on their islands, and because the researchers were dumbfounded to discover that it was their volcanoes that were creating an extremely nutrient-rich soil that blankets the entire nation.
Humic and fulvic acid, I'm thinking of.
You're exactly right, Nico. Rich with the minerals that were there. And you see, when they erupt, they cover the soil with a fine ash that's loaded with minerals deep from within the Earth's core. So not only are the Icelanders soaking in these nutrients, but these minerals supercharge their food supply, strengthening its God-given ability to enhance health better than any man-made remedy. This is one of the reasons why I love Premier's pink salt. Dr. Marshall sourced that from pristine seawaters along with volcanic minerals.
Okay, great.
So see, that's why it's so important to use supplements that come from nature like this. So naturally, everyone wants to know what these minerals were, and they found many of them were embedded in the volcanic ash, but there were two that stood out. And the first came right out of the Bible itself. So maybe we'll talk about that in just a few moments.
Okay.
I can actually click in and talk about that. What are they? I'll be willing to bet you before I look.
Magnesium is
one of them's silica.
Oh, you're definitely silica.
I think it's silica, because I mentioned ash, Nignia. Ash is my friend who is the importer of, I think, one of the coolest cod liver oils, Dropi, D-R-O-P-I, folks. You can pick it up on Amazon and or go to their website, Daria Imports, because it's an all women-owned company, and they have their own boats, and they go catch the cod livers and they process them in the natural way, without added vitamins and so forth.
Yeah, so a group of scientists have reviewed this trio of anti-aging compounds and discovered the crust of Iceland's volcanic ash shows a huge potential of stopping and even reversing the effects of old age.
That's right. So they actually did a 60-minute story on it, but
doesn't really tell you what these minerals
it's
are.
kind of a clickbait thing. So let's see what happens. Let's because I just noticed that. Let's see if we can find out. This is partially probably an ad. GRS Ultra. Inside each cell of your body is a clock, and here's how you can turn it backwards. So you watch a video, but I can tell you one thing: it's silica, and I actually have that product. So if you're interested in it, because I'm friends with Ash at Daria Imports.
Yes.
And silica is a building block for this healthy cell, and it actually tastes really good. There used to be a silica supplement called BioSil, and I never really liked the taste of it, but we'll keep following up. This might be a nice subject for us to expound on a little bit, because we are coming into the winter, and I want everyone to get prepared, not buy into all of that flu shot paranoia. I mean, I was driving in a shopping center, and they had those little cheapy signs posted, head here to get your flu shot, and I'm thinking, geez, this is crazy.
Yeah, and I was reading an article yesterday in the Times, and they were talking about the flu shot and how last year they really failed because the stuff that was in it wasn't really affecting the flu that much, and this year they're saying that, well, this is not going to be perfect this year either. There are some people are hesitating on it because it's probably not the right kind of flu.
They're
usually,
never the right flu.
Yeah, well.
They're manufacturing the one for this year.
Well, they're saying they pick three usually that are prominent in the East. And by the time it gets around here, a lot of times it changes.
Right.
But remember, they're putting the flu in the vaccine, which for me is enough to say, no, I'm not going to do that because I'm already got my body where I want it. So no use in bringing it down a step.
Another comment in the chat room, it says, waking up with a head cold the morning after having played in the snow in the cold the day before. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the cold does not give you a cold. That is an old wives' tale. That is a misnomer. An unhealthy terrain, what's going on in your body, was unable to handle the stress of the change, and therefore the microbes that were already present in the environment took over your immune system. Why would someone else playing with you on the same day not get sick? They didn't.
They're already adapted.
They're adapted, and they have a healthy terrain.
Yeah. So this is a great way of getting your body to adapt to different seasons. And like I said, I've been doing this for years, and I think it's really important that you understand you can boost your own metabolism just by going to extremes on these things.
And when we get back, I'll give you a little tip of something that's been time-honored. It's a seasonal cleanse. You've probably heard about it before, but stay tuned. It's called the Master Cleanse. What is the Master Cleanse, and how can this 48-hour cleanse maybe help you get that terrain right so you'll not be susceptible to all those bugs out there?
Stick around, folks. We'll be right back.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Today we're really talking about your immune system, how to boost it, and we saw how in Iceland the people are using the commune pools to do that. We see in Russia,
kids are playing in the snow.
Kids are playing in the snow. We often talk about dunking ourselves in cold water and things like that.
And Americans are running to Walgreens to get a flu shot.
Yeah, so quite a
Something
difference
right with that,
going on
guys.
here. Yeah, so I think the first part is what we want to do, and the second part we want to stay away from the flu shots.
Absolutely.
For sure. So this is called the Master Cleanse. This is a 48-hour total detox, and will remove all toxins and heal the body. So this is one I really haven't studied too much, Paige. So fill us in on this.
Well, the Master Cleanse was developed by Dr. Stanley Burroughs. He was a naturopathic type of doctor, and he created it to help the immune system recover from stress. But before we get into the detail of talking about it, another reason why I like the Master Cleanse is as we come into winter, what fruit is in season, so to speak, even though you say they're not from here?
Well, the citrus. Yeah.
Okay, so the citrus are in season. As soon as you get the first cold snap, wherever you're at, that's when the citrus become great to eat, and that kind of gets their sweetness. So this is a great time to get yourself some organic lemons and get prepared to do the Master Cleanse. And we know that this is a cleanse that does a whole body cleanse. It's a modified fast, so to speak. It's giving the digestive system from the mouth to the anus a rest. And because we know that, as Bernard Jensen, the father of Bauhaus, said, death begins in the colon.
Yeah.
So if we can keep the colon healthy,
Yeah, and the most common sign of having a toxic colon is something called constipation, but there are other things. The constipation really occurs when things are just moving slow, so you're kind of plugged up a little bit. So what happens is a lot of times the absorption of these materials in the colon goes through the colon wall and starts poisoning your body. Not a good thing.
yeah, a toxic waste becomes absorbed through the colon. That's we extract nutrients from
there.
Water is absorbed in the colon wall. But if you have a slow transit time, which is common today, with today's processed foods, people are not getting that regularity. And it was so cute because I was talking with my little niece who's only 3, and she had to go to the potty, and I was like, do you have your potty books? And she's like, what do you mean? I said, well, you can just stay there and read your books for a little bit, because you want them to take the time to get the idea that this is a time, we want things to happen here. So I thought that was kind of cute.
Yeah. So some of the symptoms for digestive problems are constipation, bloating, diarrhea, gas, indigestion, and stomach pain.
But you may see these results. They're actually creating joint pain and muscle pain because you are toxic.
That's right. So there are some physical things that you feel, but there's also some behavioral symptoms, which is like depression, fatigue, anxiety, brain fog, mood swings, poor memory.
And you may see this also. It's a sign that the immune system is under stress from dealing with this toxicity, and your immune system will be weaker. You may see reoccurrence, little infections, sinus infections, bladder infections, vaginal infections.
And it shows up in your skin too,
well,
with rashes
because
and
if
things
you,
like that.
What's the organ that I tell you is the backup for the large intestine in Chinese medicine?
The skin.
The lungs.
Oh, the
and
lungs.
then after that, the
The
skin.
skin, okay.
Yeah. So if it's showing up in the skin, you've got suppressed toxins or suppressed disease. So back again, Bernard Jensen, who was the chiropractor and naturopathic PhD, is one of the pioneers who used colon cleansing to improve a person's quality of life. In his book, Tissue Cleansing Through Bowel Management, he explains the importance of colon cleansing. Now, right there you have the book, probably inspired by a lot of Bernard Jensen's work, is Dr. Stanley Burroughs. He's very interesting, Dr. Stanley Burroughs. I shouldn't say doctor because I don't know if he really was, but to me, doctor means teacher. Medical organizations co-opted that word, so to me, he's a doctor because he's a teacher.
Yeah, so Stanley invented this Master Cleanse, developed in the 1940s by him. In 1976, Burroughs presented this cleansing program to the world in that book that I showed.
Yeah, and we'll go over the recipe because it's very easy, and I'm sure Nico will stick it in our next newsletter.
You
but
betcha.
I want to give you a really important quote from Bernard Jensen. The heavy mucus coating in the colon thickens and becomes a host of putrefaction, and the blood capillaries to the colon begin to pick up these toxins, poisons, and noxious debris as it seeps through the bowel wall. All tissues and organs of the body are now taking on the toxic substances. Here's the beginning of true auto-intoxication on a physiological level. This accumulation can have the consistency of truck tire rubber. It's that hard and black.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
got that. That's a
Mucoid.
big problem going on for sure.
Mucoid plaque, and it's really kind of an interesting thing. I have to tell you, I did the Master Cleanse, and you get great benefits from doing it for 48, 72 hours, where you use this recipe and it's all you eat or drink.
Right.
I did it 17 days.
Did you? Wow.
I'm going to tell you guys, I think that what would amazed me is that the only thing you got going in is this lemon juice, maple syrup, cayenne pepper liquid.
Mm-hmm.
But even after 17 days, you got stuff coming out. What does that tell you?
Yeah, it's been in there a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the ingredients are 2 tablespoons of organic lemon juice.
Yes.
That's about a half a lemon, they say. 2 tablespoons of organic grade B maple syrup.
So it's a 1-to-1.
Yeah, and that's not the kind of maple syrup that you see in the store. It's you have to have the grade B.
Yeah,
So
and
that's the
that's something.
classification.
Yeah, what you see in the grocery stores or even most health food stores, unfortunately, is grade A. Whole Foods doesn't even carry grade B that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
You have to look for it. And what does that mean? Actually, the higher the letter A, B, or C, which I have a source for that, is more mineral content. Go on.
And then 1/10 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper powder. So don't overdo the pepper. That's for sure. And then 10 ounces of filtered water. And
Do you know why they put the cayenne pepper?
Well, it's an anti-inflammatory, first of all.
But it's loaded with vitamin C.
Okay, good.
And then again, we know that the color red has a lot of powerful in the pigment.
Yeah,
we
remember the
talked about that.
cayenne, we also use that for stopping blood from, it makes it coagulate.
It's intelligent. It'll stop the blood. It'll also stop a clot by breaking up a clot.
Wow.
So cayenne pepper is something you want to get a little thing hooked to your keychain and carry it, because if you're ever around someone that's having a heart attack or a stroke, you give them some cayenne pepper. If they're having a stroke, you can prevent brain damage.
There you go.
Because it will clear the arteries.
Yeah.
So you mix everything together when you do the Master Cleanse. And you drink this mixture 5 to 8 times per day for a minimum of 10 days.
Yeah.
The article says 48 hours. And so, you got to start where you can go. But many of you that are listening are probably used to following what Nico and I do. You're doing intermittent fasting. You can go without food without losing your mind. But,
That's the key right there.
this person says you can supplement with essential oils. As a clinical aromatherapist, I'm going to say do not supplement with essential oils unless you're working with a professional aromatherapist, and that's not necessarily someone who's selling them, someone who's had the training. So I like sticking with the original recipe. You can Google this if you forgot it, and I also like making it in advance, because you're going to be drinking up to
Yeah, you don't want to be mixing it 8 times a day. You want to mix it all
make
at
it
once.
your big blender, so you're getting bags of lemons, and this is the time they're in season. And you go ahead and make it and put it in your refrigerator, but and then you go ahead and fill your glasses, and then you've got them all ready.
Yep.
Now, I also like juices. I like the enzymes, within 4 hours, so I might do it twice a day. Do half of them and do the other half. But
Yeah.
so
So I'll
hope
stick
you
to
like
the
that.
next newsletter for sure, so we can get that. You can all try this if you want to try this.
We got to
So-
take a short break, but make sure you pick up some of our Primal Edge. That'll give you the minerals and the fulvic humic soil-rich things, just like the Icelanders. One shot wonder once a day. We'll be
You
right
bet
back.
you believe it. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we're sharing how to stay healthy with the changing weather. But what if, in case you're sick, what if there's a new technology, Nico, that allows you to smell disease on the breath? According to CNN reporter Susan Scuddy, there's a technology that can identify various cancers based on breath analysis with up to 86% accuracy, and each disease has a particular chemical signature which can be detected on our breath. Now, I'm going to translate that because you've got some more info to share with us. Well, every disease has a chemical signature. Every disease has a frequency, as the real nutritional pioneers knew. Yeah. And, of course, the drug companies didn't want that to be known, so they squashed all their work because cancer was cured many, many years ago based on frequency.
Yeah, and of course they're not telling us those things because they want this kind of to be hidden. They don't, this natural way of looking
There's
at
too much
health.
money in it, yeah, right.
It's the money has to come first, so therefore we're going to ignore the things that are kind of free to the society. And there are so many things in our society that are free. In fact, most things are, and they're the best things in life are free. Remember the song?
Best things in life are free.
Yeah, and you know
the best thing in life ain't things.
Yeah, and the best things in life is playing the game, not winning. But we always stress the winning. I want to win. That's the only reason I'm here. It's not the only reason we're here, folks.
So how does this work, Nico?
So like a super sensitive human nose, I would say more like a dog's nose. Mm-hmm. This technology can smell and identify the chemical composition of a person's breath and then diagnose up to 17 potential diseases. I'm sure this is going to accelerate even more to different diseases. And I was talking to you a little bit about this little clip I was watching, and this was really interesting. It was a guy that found a little baby squirrel, and it was just limp and didn't move much, so he tried to feed it, which he was successful at. It would take the food, and you could see the baby getting stronger. And he was at this for quite a while in this thing. He kept going back to, you know, the feeding part of it, and then all of a sudden you see this mother coming down the wire, and from quite a bit far away, and all of a sudden the mother sees the baby in the guy's hand and comes up to it, takes it out of the hand, smells it, licking it, and licking its butt, licking its mouth, just getting familiar again with the baby's
Thrilled
smell,
to have her
and
baby.
And the baby, of course, smelling that to rebond, and then finally, when she was satisfied, everything was okay, put it in her mouth and scampered along, and the guy goes, "This is the best day of my life." He says, "I really learned a lot from this." But it's the indication that there are things that are inherent in us and in other animals that we can identify certain things, whether it's a miss. Like you said, your mother always knew.
No, that was me.
What was you?
With my children, when they were little, I always knew when they had an ear infection by their breath. I mean, it wasn't that. It was just this. I would smell it, and I would go, I got to take them to the doctor. Because they wouldn't be crying. Sometimes didn't even have a fever, but I'd say they got an ear infection. I know it. It was a metallic smell that told me they had an ear infection. My family says I have the nose from the South, I can smell anything.
A nose from an old soul.
Yeah, a nose from an old soul. Yeah, could be.
So, these things that we've kind of forgotten, we have to really get back into our society so we can be a lot more proactive about, going into these diseases so we can come back out of them again. And this is the way nature does it. How does a dog or a cat know that its offspring is not well?
Yeah,
I mean it's instinctive.
Well, that's the power of olfaction, because it goes right to our limbic system of our brain. This is why essential oils and the chemical constituents of essential oils go to the limbic system of the brain and then transverse the entire nervous system and communicate with all the organs.
But also, I just want to inject here, our society is losing these natural abilities of us. I mean, you would never think a hunter and gatherer to leave a baby in a car.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
go away. I mean, your baby is with you always.
Right.
So these structures that we have in our society are dividing those natural tendencies that we have.
Well, we're living in an unnatural world.
Yes, but there are good things happening. So something like this, which is a modern thing, is actually good.
So let's go back to this. The researchers led by Hossein Haik of the Technion Israel Institute of Technology says that their product, the Nanos, which uses nanorays to analyze breath, can identify Parkinson's disease, various cancers, kidney failure, multiple sclerosis, and Crohn's disease with 86% accuracy. Imagine you go into your screening or your wellness check, and that's what we should be going to see our doctors for, and their job should be to keep us well, not writing scripts for toxic drugs. And you do your Nanos test, and they go, oh, it looks like they're screening out. We're not trying to diagnose, we're trying to screen out that maybe something serious is not going on. So how does this smell reveal if you're sick? It says the technology in many cases is equivalent to the accuracy of the currently available invasive technology.
Yeah, actually probably better than that. And the invasive technology, we do have lots of problems with them. I just think of colonoscopy and things like that.
They actually say it has a much higher accuracy rate than currently available technologies, and unlike most screenings, including standard blood tests, breath analysis technology is non-invasive, a benefit most patients would agree.
Now, a couple of years ago, we were talking about this wolf lady who was in a wolf, and she was always bonding with the wolves, and the tribe kind of, or the pack kind of accepted her. And she noticed one wolf in particular was pointing at a certain part, was always sniffing at her head. And the side of her head, and she thought that was peculiar. When she went back to civilization and had an exam, they found a tumor, a brain tumor. They got that removed. She went through it for a couple of years, went back up there, found the same wolf, the same pack, and again bonded with them. But it was really something that she says, this wolf is the one that told me.
Well, they always tell you, Jerry Tennant, in my training with him, he showed when he had received the encephalitis from he was the founder of LASIK surgery. He's an eye surgeon, Dr. Jerry Tennant. He was doing laser surgery. What was happening is viruses in people's eyes were splattering up and getting into his eyes. He ended up getting encephalitis from doing laser surgery and was in bed for 7 years. And when his brilliant colleagues said they didn't have anything for him, he became a natural medicine doctor. He cured himself using frequency, microcurrent, and but there's pictures of Dr. Jerry Tennant with his dogs with their bodies wrapped around his head. They knew he was off.
It's funny that there's a lot of these doctors that have things wrong with themselves or maybe a family member and not getting satisfaction from the corporate style of physicians that aren't helping always go to the alternative and find solutions. And this is how we come up with a lot of the things that you and I talk about on the show, from people who had problems and solve it naturally because the other method is not working.
I truly, and I use the word myself, but I really detest the word alternative.
Yeah.
Since when did natural become the alternative? I call it traditional. Conventional medicine is not the tradition. Traditional medicine is the new kid on the block.
Yeah.
And so we need to get back to incorporating traditional healing.
I have a new client that started this week with me, a dentist from the area. So
okay, good.
naturally, you know, we often talk about the Weston Price organization. So I talked to him a little bit. I says, you've probably heard of Weston A. Price, the dentist from around the 1900s.
And he probably said no.
No, he had never heard of him. So I sent him a link to it. He says, I'm really interested in that. Talked to him about mouth taping and things like that. But he says, too, he said the health begins in the mouth. That's where it starts, right there.
Well, and Weston A. Price knew it, and Pottinger, and boy, when these dentists find this information, they realize, and this is what's going on. We'll talk about that when we return, about how many people in traditional medicine are being misled, just like we're being misled when we turn on the boob tube. We're not being told the truth.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. If you'd like to be the bank and get the type of interest they receive instead of the low interest rates they give to clients, then I have an investment you may want to take a look at. I'm offering 4-year secured first mortgages on buildable city lots in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment can be anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000 per buildable city lot. The interest paid is 7% per year, paid monthly. Depending on the investment, the income per month per lot ranged from $175 for a $30,000 investment to $437.50 for a $75,000 investment. If you are in the CD market, you want to look at this investment. St. Petersburg is located in Pinellas County, which is the densest county in Florida. If you're looking for an investment with your principal intact that pays a good interest rate, this may be for you. The supply is limited, so act now. For more information on these secured first mortgage opportunities, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit tfnn.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
And, you know, right before we went to the break, we were talking about the fact that a lot of the dentists didn't know who Weston A. Price was. I spent this weekend at a very interesting seminar. I might bring it up next week. I want to share some information. But it impressed upon me two medical doctors that are part of my sacred medical order, where we're really working internationally to protect our right to traditional medicine and indigenous rights. And same sort of thing. There are medical doctors, and they just wrote a book about wound healing and how, you know, they see that traditional wound healing that they're taught in the ERs, it's not working, folks. What they were taught in medical school is not working. The dentists, what they were taught in dental school, it's not working because they're not getting at the root cause. And when they find organizations such as our group where these classically trained doctors are getting the truth, they feel so relieved because they realize that there really is a healing paradigm.
Yeah.
So
Instead of just trying to make money, these patients keep coming back. We want to solve problems, and a lot of doctors want those problems solved.
So we got these points. I found this article, and I wanted to wrap up the show today with this because it's about 20 rules of life a Japanese samurai warrior wrote about almost 400 years ago.
And we'll go through these kind of quickly.
Yeah, I spent the weekend with a group of people that's really based in Templar history.
Oh.
And as you know, the Templar history is the Templars were warriors and healers, the Hospitaliers.
Okay.
So samurai warrior, same thing. So what you see is many years ago, keeping people healthy and taking care of the sick was also part of protecting them.
Yeah.
Military.
Yeah.
So what was the wisdom of this samurai warrior of how do we live a long time? How do we live a healthy life? And this, let's go through some of these things. The first thing he says is what?
Learn to accept life as it comes.
That's right.
And this is one of the important lessons that my dad taught me. First of all, just relax. When something
Go with
bad
the flow.
happens, go with the flow, breathe, get through it, and you'll be fine.
And number two, abandon any obsession to achieve pleasure. We spend a lot of time chasing pleasure, and maybe we just need to enjoy being in the
Well, if you're
moment.
chasing the pleasure, you don't have the pleasure. So there you go. Okay.
Number
Number
three.
three, do not act on an impulsive emotion.
If you feel angry, hold your breath, think a little bit more.
Or breathe.
Don't obsess over yourself.
Yeah, there's
That's
good rules here.
self-obsession. Boy, is that really rampant today.
Yeah, and never allow jealousy to rule your life. This is another obsession, naturally.
Jealousy, a very strong form of
Number
hatred.
6, abandon attachment to desire. So these three I see themselves. Do not obsess over yourself. Do not act on emotion. Never allow jealousy to rule your life. Abandon attachment to desire. All kind of the same thing. This is what you're thinking about yourself, basically.
Never live in regret. The past is the past. The future is the future, but the present is now.
Yeah, and let it roll off your back. I remember those
Let
old
water
sayings.
roll off your back like
Just like
water
a
on a
duck's
duck's
back.
back.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
dwell on sad separation. Today's world, we can always reconnect more easily than even this guy could
And
500
those things,
years
you
ago.
know, our society really breeds that the dwelling on these things. I remember when I broke up with my first girlfriend, that was the end of the world.
Oh, well, we got movies about it.
Yeah.
Number 9, complaining should have no place in your life.
That's right.
That's one thing that my mother always taught me. Think about someone else who has no food. So then you felt guilty about, not having what you have. But I think that's a great thing. Don't let lust rule your life.
Or rust either.
Rust, that's right.
That's right.
Keep your options open. Do not rule out matters the future will hold. Yeah, be optimistic that there could be something better on the
Yeah,
corner.
don't be a slave to your surroundings. Possessions and your luxurious home may seem important, but they are less important. And we found that out during the storms and everything like
The
that.
best things in life ain't things.
And that's right.
Learn not to be a glutton.
Yeah, don't overeat. Make your meals simple.
Even though our handlers want us to be gluttonous,
Yeah.
because they make more money, we don't have to be gluttonous.
That's right. Abandon possessions in favor of minimalism.
Don't hold on to your things that you don't need. In other words, purge, release.
Do not believe something just because you're told to. This is all about the news and everything else.
That's right. Don't be told how to think. Think for yourself. Respect the gods is what it says, but do not rely solely on their guidance or God's guidance. Listen. I always said prayer is asking and meditation is listening. Have no fear of dying because, guys, guess what? We don't die. We're just spiritual beings having a human experience.
Do not use weaponry unless it's absolutely necessary. Do not put pressure on retiring with riches, and always protect your honor.
And we honor you all for being here with us today.
Yeah.
Stay
Thanks a lot for
healthy,
sticking
and we'll
around.
see you next week.
Take care, bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman wave sequence. Using the Chapman wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.